Great. I think we can get started. So thank you everyone for joining us today. I know most of you on the line here, but for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jose Herrera, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Horatio. We are a next generation customer experience and back office outsourcing partner for some of the fastest growing startups in the US, Canada, and all over the world, essentially. Today, it's my pleasure to have with me Justin Rotman, who is the founder and CEO of Goodkind. And when we first started talking to Justin, we were very impressed with the capabilities that him and his team have built, particularly surrounding video messaging, which is the topic of the conversation today. And this is something that we've heard a lot of our clients ask about. And so we're very proud and happy to have Justin talk here today about the powerful software that him and his team have built surrounding video messaging. I mean, something that blew my mind is that 82% of internet traffic nowadays is video, but most organizations are not leveraging video as a customer experience and sales tool. And I think that Goodkind was founded by the team to basically bring video conversations into the mix as an additional channel to generate additional revenue generating opportunities for clients and find interesting and unique ways to differentiate themselves from the competitors. I think we nowadays live in a world of automation and bots, and I think that having a personal connection with your customers is essential, and there's no better way to do it than with video. So with that, I'll pass it over to Justin so that he can give you guys a quick demo of what Goodkind does, some of the clients that he's had be successful, and then we are more than happy to open it up for questions.
Thanks, Jose, for having me today. When we met through one of my team members, it's just cool that you and your team have built this kind of next generation BPO experience, and the quality is really high. And we've been seeking a partner like Horatio to work with, and it's clear that your standards were super high, and that's something that we admire. I actually also came from the call center world prior to starting the company. I ran call center operations for some very large telcos based in the US. And a lot of that experience inspired what Goodkind became, which is really the first video messaging platform for high volume B2C and also increasingly SMB sales. And there's a bunch of reasons that I can get into on the slides here of why we're the first to really be able to do this. And it did take us quite a few years to really crack the code. And now we've seen quite exciting adoption of our platform from enterprises. And to quickly jump into, and these are Jose's slides here, and I think a lot of folks on the phone know Jose and Horatio, so I'll just jump through those. But what we realized was that at the heart of this challenge were a bunch of other challenges, and that was preventing the adoption of Goodkind. And there were three core reasons why this is likely the first time you're hearing about a tool like this. And quickly, they are compliance. How do we get high volume, high number of people on video in a way that we trust, right? Are they going to say the right thing? How do they look? What's behind them? So we spent a lot of time, and we've actually received venture capital funding and Government of Canada funding to build out fairly advanced AI and machine learning based content moderation tools. The next question was end user adoption. And the pandemic certainly helped in this regard. People were more comfortable recording videos because they're spending so much time on video. And with that comfort, we also saw a new acceptance from consumers for low production quality videos. So these are just quick 15 to 30-second videos. And that's what people want because that's how they're communicating with their friends and family. And the last piece was the difficult software component, which was workflows. How do we make sure that the right video is sent to the right person at the right time from the right recorder, right? So we're integrating with most enterprise CRMs, marketing automation tools to bring that business logic into Goodkind to really optimize this because at its heart, we are a sales tool that uses video. And the heart of sales is often workflows, right? Making sure people are getting context heavy and relevant messaging. So Before going any further, quickly to introduce Goodkind. So, as Jose mentioned, we've been at this for a couple years now. We have customers across a bunch of different industries. I put some of their logos down below. Some very large retailers, quite a few fintechs and financial institutions, even global nonprofits, and also universities. So, really, retail, financial services, NGO, and also education is where we've seen a lot of success. And Jose mentioned this in the top. Videos just exploded. Goodkind is very much one of the first to enable this for business to consumer video messaging. And on the chart on the right here, we've kind of just put this evolution of video. And going back to 10 plus years ago, Netflix, Facebook, YouTube really enabled anyone to consume video on their computers, right? Not movie theaters, for the first time. So video as entertainment. In the last 3 to 4 years, we've seen the explosion of peer-to-peer video messaging, right? So that the TikToks, the Snapchats, the Instagrams, where you're just recording a video for a friend or for a group of friends. Now, the kind of final frontier, we believe, is business to consumer video messaging. And this is the tough one to crack because of those business logic reasons, because of those compliance, because of adoption, and a bunch of other things. So that's really where we've decided to focus. But the inspiration for this really did come from the consumer world. Uh, one other key piece that we've learned, at least in the last 2+ years of doing this, is that we're also in an age of digital fatigue, and this won't be a huge surprise, or this term probably is known to many folks on the call. Um, what matters is not the number of interactions that you have with a customer, but actually the quality of those interactions that you have with your customers. And by nature, what we've built here is a one-to-one video messaging solution. So, Justin records a video for an individual customer. And because of that, you're showing you care, you're spending the time for that individual consumer, and it makes a difference. And so we've really kind of learned here that it's actually the quality versus the quantity of engagements. And as digital fatigue grows, that position seems to become stronger. Now on to the fun part, which is our partnership with Horatio, which we're really excited to kind of announce on this webinar. Horatio and Goodkind are teaming up to enable and unlock this channel for your kind of sales or post-sales process, or kind of customer success operations. Horatio to be the reliable and flexible partner that provides incredible service for your teams. We've met and kind of trained a number of Horatio reps to record these video messages, so it is a turnkey solution. Goodkind is providing the technology and some of the know-how to make this channel work. Where does it fit in your customer journey? When to use it, when not to use it. Given the other channels you have in play, how does this fit in, and where can it be most effective? So we've partnered to offer the solution to both Horatio and Goodkind customers who are looking for an outsourced solution, and just want to get going extremely fast and may not have the capacity internally to record videos on their own. Um, so very quickly, I thought I'd show a Goodkind video message from one of our financial technology partners that sells mortgages. So these videos are sent to end customers via SMS, WhatsApp, or email. That's the solution that Goodkind provides. We can, of course, also send our customers videos that they then distribute to their customers through APIs. So there's a couple options here. But for the purposes of this sample, an individual has inquired about a mortgage, and this mortgage sales rep is responding with a video to try to get them to book a meeting. And this video is sent via SMS in this case. Okay, and here's the video.
Thank you so much for coming to the info session. Like we talked about there, the best next step in this process is to set up a time to talk with someone on our team. You can do that, set up a time for a phone call or a Zoom meeting by clicking the link on your screen and booking that today. I hope we were able to answer all of the wonderful questions that you brought in a satisfactory way. But if you have new questions or just need clarification, that's really what we're here for. So even if you're a ways out from buying a home and you're not looking to start the process today, click that link, book a time, and we'll help you make a plan. Talk to you soon.
Awesome. So the call to action in this case is for someone to book a meeting, and we've been able to do that quite effectively for this customer and many others. However, it goes beyond that, right? We're tracking everything on this page. How much is someone engaging with it? Are they clicking? Are they sharing it? And we push this data back into Goodkind and also our customer CRMs such that they can act on it and really close this lead. You'll also notice that there's a button, send a reply. What we were seeing was that people may not be ready to convert just from this video alone, but we have to help them overcome an objection. So what we've launched is this way for customers to actually reply with a text-based message or a video. That reply then goes into Goodkind and can be assigned to be dealt with by a rep. And what we're doing is really nudging prospects all the way to the end of the funnel. That's what Goodkind really does best. Awesome. So hopping back just towards the end here, and I want to make sure we leave ample time for questions. So I won't go too deep into the technology, but a big part of this is making it super, super seamless for a rep to record Goodkind videos. So as mentioned, it's fully task-based and flow-based. An individual who's recording a video is not really saying, hey, I want to record a video right now randomly for a customer. No, they're assigned a task and prompted using our mobile application, and that'll be based on when in your customer journey you want to use Goodkind. We also have on-screen prompts and scripts and things like that to keep the videos effective and make sure that best practices are being followed. Big part of the platform is content moderation and compliance. I talked a bit about this at the beginning. We've had to go quite deep here as Goodkind becomes an enterprise solution and works with big financial institutions. We can do things such as understand specific keywords, phrases, tone, intonation that maybe you don't want being sent to a customer. And this stuff is important because it means that you can really scale this. You can have, we have customers with over 500 store associates recording videos, and there doesn't need to be a full-time manager of this because we're automatically monitoring what content is being recorded and sent out. Because it's asynchronous, so I'm recording a pre-recorded video for a customer in a particular context, we're able to remove that video from being sent if it does in fact include a keyword or a message or a tone that our customers don't want being sent to their customers. So there's quite a bit of sophistication here, and really what the purpose and benefit is to make sure that your brand is on brand 100% of the time. This is a new channel, so it's important that there's some guardrails up to make sure that it is executed effectively.
Justin, I have a question on that point. How do you recommend your clients to ensure that the message that is going through the video is the right messaging? I mean, you mentioned that you have these moderation parameters, but do you recommend having a senior manager or supervisor review the videos before they go out initially so that you can provide feedback to the reps? Like, how do you think about quality assurance when it comes to video messaging?
It's a great question, Jose. Thanks for jumping in. So there's a couple ways. The first is that many of our customers who are doing this at massive scale, so thousands of videos per day, use scripts. So in the mobile application, you can actually have a teleprompter scrolling for the rep as they are recording the video, so they know exactly what to say. And then we measure the actual words that were spoken against the script to understand if they were on or off script. And if they aren't on script enough, then the video gets rejected in the moderation queue, and this is all automatic, and the rep is asked to re-record it. So we do recommend that there is approvals on for every single rep who's recording on Goodkind. And you can have the option of having a human kind of manager say, hey, this is good, this is bad, particularly when a new rep is onboarding at the beginning of them using Goodkind. But you can kind of pick how heavy or light you want to be on the human training side.
One more question on my end.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. In terms of particularly e-commerce clients, and I think you're going to talk about this right now, how do you determine which clients get a video? How do you segment? Do you segment it by VIP tier? Like, do you segment them by specific promotions? Like, how do you think about segmenting the clients that will be getting a video, particularly when it comes to e-commerce brands?
Sure. Yeah, that's good timing for this question, Jose. So really good, a bottom of funnel tool. And when I say funnel, I mean a classic kind of sales funnel, which starts with, generating interest, some point of consideration where someone's evaluating something, and then the purchase itself. Because of the nature of our platform, that it isn't merge fields, that it's not blasting, thousands of customers with an individual message, it lends itself to being more of a high touch, high value interaction. So the way that we recommend segmenting is not necessarily on the tier of a customer, but more so where the customer is in their journey with your brand. We've kind of identified that there's three kind of key moments in the customer journey where our clients are using Goodkind most efficiently and effectively. On the e-commerce example, there's a few. Anything having to do with loyalty programs. So, those are higher value customers. You're trying to get them onto the loyalty platform or program, or you're upselling them once they're part of it. Those are very common use cases. High value abandoned carts. And I say high value because, if someone's abandoning for, a $10 t-shirt, you're probably not going to record a video for them. But if they're abandoning a couch where they've custom built, a couch on your website for 20 minutes and then they abandon that, well, that's really interesting, right? There's clear intent. They spent a lot of time doing this, and it would make sense to get a relevant in context video encouraging them to complete their purpose or asking them if they have questions, because the value or the basket size is sufficiently high. So I've just noted a few items on the left where the opportunity is high and the touch point is valuable enough to really where it makes sense to send a Goodkind video. First purchases, the anniversary of their last purchase, right? Celebrating milestones and things like that are all really strong moments to send a video. Last comment here is that we would at the beginning, we would sit down with your team and really say, hey, where in your journey are you trying to drive uplift? Where does your funnel feel a little bit leaky? Where do you think there's opportunity for improvement? And we'd start there, and we'd say, hey, these are relevant examples from our other customers that we think have meaning for you, and this is what we recommend at this moment in time. But really, we focus kind of bottom of funnel generally.
Great.
Yeah. Any other questions? I can't see the gallery in this view.
We'll open it up for question at the end, I think.
Cool. Awesome. So very quickly, and this is recorded, so this could be viewed afterwards, but some of the key metrics from Goodkind. We sent almost 1 million videos in 2021. We've actually passed 2 million as of last day of April. So that was a pretty exciting milestone for us. We've had over 6,000 individual people record videos on Goodkind. Typically, these are folks in call centers. These are people in financial branches. They are loan officers, customer experience reps, anything like that. And this tool really works, right? It really, really works, particularly when open rates are high. So again, we're delivering these via email and SMS. And if we can get an open, someone to actually watch the video, they're significantly more likely to act. It's not uncommon to see, 1.6, 1.7x higher revenue versus an alternative channel like email or text message. When we think about customer retention, we've seen a ton of really, really compelling metrics there of, customers do some type of recurring customer for you. You may have identified that they're at risk, and sending them a Goodkind video seems to work extremely well in retaining customers and also cross-selling them, so growing the share of wallet for existing customers. Speaking of e-commerce, Jose, and I think there's a couple folks on the phone for whom this is relevant. We have some excellent examples of increasing basket size. If you do have a brick and mortar operation, sending videos in advance of someone coming to a store tends to get them to buy significantly more product in store, right? And those are some really strong metrics that we've seen. So that kind of concludes the presentation. Really want to keep it short so we can have time for questions. And of course, you can write to Jose or I afterwards. But a couple. Really, the first step is just booking some time so we can understand your sales or success process and where you're looking for uplift. Horatio and Goodkind are also going to offer discounted pilot pricing for the first couple customers who sign up for this new partnership. But that's it for me. But Jose, I'll pass it back over to you.
Great. No, I think it would be great if we open it up for questions, and if anyone has any specific questions about the demo that we provided, happy to answer them now.
Are all the videos recorded via phone, or can you do them on your desktop or a laptop?
Either or.
And
Yeah.
do you need certain requirements on a computer, or just the basics?
Yeah, exactly. So there's both mobile and web support. Mobile is about 70% of the recording volume on the platform because it feels a little bit more authentic when you're holding a device versus just staring at a screen. We're actually working on ways to make desktop recording more exciting, but yeah, it's compatible with any basic web browser. Someone just gets an email saying, "Hey, record a video," then they're prompted in a kind of dedicated screen with the same functionality, the script, etc.
Excellent. Thank you.
I guess while people gather the courage to ask another question, I think something that I found very interesting in our discussion, Justin, was just the how different it is in terms of the reception that people have to videos versus email. I mean, I think you mentioned something about the global average open rate of email is around 3%. Is that correct? Like, how do you
The click-through rate? Yeah, the
the
click-through
click
rate.
through the
Yeah.
click through rate and video is 18%. I mean, it's just drastically
Yeah.
higher on video. So that is something that people should keep in mind when they're starting to think about incorporating video into their strategy, particularly for those higher end customers or bottom of the funnel customers that they want to close.
Yeah, we've seen pretty phenomenal distinctions versus some of the more traditional channels, and I think it's as simple as people are really savvy these days. Consumers are savvy; they understand when they're being, put on a drip campaign, right? And they just ignore it. Versus this, it's I see someone's face, they're smiling, they're addressing me by their name, so there's certainly higher. There's labor here, right, where there isn't to send an email to 50,000 customers. But from what we've seen, particularly if you're um, discerning in how people are selecting use cases. So where to use the tool, which is why we focus on bottom of funnel. The business case seems to always be there to spend the time to do this, and that's also another reason why Jose, we're partnering on this for folks on the phone. Is that you can of course give Jose's team the task to do that, so you're not having to create dedicate resources for those.
Great. In terms of integration and being able to track how engaged the clients are, like, do you guys can we embed this into some of our CRM platforms? And how do you guys go about those integrations? And is there an additional cost for those integrations?
Yeah, absolutely. So over 80% of our customers have a CRM integration actively in place, and that's how we're bringing customer data from their database into Goodkind at predetermined moments in the customer journey. So everyone's receiving a video in context of what they recently did or what they may do in their interactions or engagements with a particular brand. So someone just bought something, someone created an account, there's a being introduced to a new customer service associate, like something happened, and then they're getting a video. So that's how we're bringing data in. We also push data back to our customer CRM, so Salesforce, Microsoft Dynamics, HubSpot, Adobe Marketing Cloud, Oracle, certain Oracle products. So the pricing, if it's just a standard Salesforce HubSpot integration, we don't charge extra because there's no custom work. Often, however, customers say, "Hey, can you integrate with a custom object, so like a way we classify information, or can you push data back into our system in a very nuanced way to match our reporting requirements?" In those cases, sometimes we do have to charge custom because there's kind of net new work for us, but we're talking well under $10,000 for these. It's not a ton of money to do kind of extra work.
Got it. If a client is interested in testing this out, how long is the setup process and all of that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've seen some big customers get started in like under 2-3 weeks. Typically, the biggest lift is on, hey, like who are we sending these videos to, and how do we get Goodkind that data? Certain customers already have lists of their own customers segmented, and they just literally log into Salesforce through Goodkind and pass the data on, and it's very simple. So short answer is because the people recording these videos would be from Horatio. Your clients don't need to worry about that part. It's more of a business decision of, hey, like, where do we want to use this tool in our customer journey? And that's 2-3 meetings, if that.
Right, like who's going to be receiving the message, basically, is what we're.
Precisely. Yeah, like, what's the strategy? You know, where does this fit into our existing customer journey and operations, and like, where is, you know, where do we want to do this? So that's the fun part often is, you know, when do we want to do this? How do we want to send it? And then there's a second conversation about just getting the data in. And because of just we've been doing this for a couple of years now, we're fairly sophisticated and savvy with CRM integrations of, you know, doing the least amount of, you know, pushing the least amount of work to our customers as humanly possible, not bringing in their entire database, but only very specific slices of it that we need to send the videos out, just to protect confidential information and stuff like that.
Perfect.
How is this priced, guys? Is it per user or per outreach? Can you give a little structure to it?
Yeah, I can jump in on the software side, and then Jose will jump in on his side. So on the software side, it is priced per outreach. So the number of active, we call it the number of active monthly contacts that you're communicating with in a given month. So it's priced, you know, economy of scale. Like the more you're sending, the lower the effective rate per contact is, and it varies between, you know, 30 cents and a dollar per active monthly contact.
Perfect. Thanks.
I think we have one more question.
Yes, hi guys, how are you? I have a question. What are some of the challenges that some of Goodkind's customers face when they come to you guys? And in what ways does Goodkind offer viable solutions and basically aids them towards becoming better in the future? Thank you.
Thanks, Alfonso. Yeah, most of the time it's a challenge on, hey, we really want to increase top line revenue, right? Goodkind is unique as a software platform in that we actually do help customers increase top line revenue versus, you know, cost savings or something like that. So typically it's, hey, we have an opportunity to increase the effectiveness at this part of our sales funnel. So we're not getting enough, you know, too many people aren't showing up for meetings, or not enough customers are joining our loyalty program, or the basket size is too low, or, you know, we're not, too many people are abandoning mortgage applications, right? Usually it's a business question like that, where they've tried things like phone, they've tried things like email, text message, whatever it is, and they're ready for the next challenge. So typically that's why people are using Goodkind. It's often not that, hey, I want to try video. It's, no, I have a business problem, and seems, you know, adept at being able to solve that challenge. Cool. I'm seeing a question from Diego.
Hi. I have a question. In terms of what you've seen from your current customers, do you recommend when sending out these videos, kind of, you know, sending one video to a group of people, or rather, you know, sending individual videos for each person?
Yeah, it's a good question, Diego, and I didn't really cover that a ton in the presentation. So there's a couple types of videos. You could record one video and send it out to a subset of customers on a recurring basis. So every single time a customer abandons cart, you could hit them with a Goodkind video. And of course, I wouldn't be saying, hey, Marianne, hey, Ronald, hey, you know, Alfonso. I would just be saying, hi, my name is Justin. I saw you did X, Y, Z. Whether people do one-to-one, as we call it, or one-to-group videos is highly dependent on where in the customer journey they want to use Goodkind, right? If the customer is less qualified, right, they're earlier on in the funnel, you probably don't want to spend the same amount of effort and energy getting in touch with them, because they're not far enough down the funnel yet. So in those cases, we often do recommend, you know, one-to-group messages. But as customers move further down the funnel, they're more qualified, they're closer to a conversion event, they're more valuable, then we highly recommend one-to-one videos.
Thank you.
Perfect. Any other questions from the group? Awesome. So as Justin mentioned, we have been recording this webinar, so we'll be sharing it to the rest of the group in case you want to share with your colleagues. And if you have any particular questions about how we can help you implement a video messaging strategy, please feel free to reach out to me or your client service manager, and we'll be happy to set up a more specific demo based on your needs with Justin and his team at Goodkind. So again, everyone that has been participating in the call will be receiving the recording of the video so you can share it with your colleagues. And we're available to answer any additional questions. So thank you so much for joining us today, and we look forward to having you join our next webinar.
Thanks, Jose, and thanks everyone for coming today.
Thank you. Bye-bye.